they want to know how long they have to jump on a diet to reach that finish line, so that way they can then no longer be on that diet.
People look at me, and I've heard this before. They're like, "Oh, you must be so strict." I had pizza on the day that I went to go.
What the f?
Yeah.
Andrew, you hear this?
You have abs, bro. You can't eat pizza.
Could you drink 2 more glasses of water every day? Start to go through that list and check that off. Can I do 1 10-minute walk every day? Food costs you time. Food is time. The more junk food you eat, the more time you got to spend on it. The more time you may spend in the hospital, the more prescription drugs that you may need. Unless you die prematurely, everyone's going to be pushed into a corner where they have to think about fitness, health in some capacity.
That's an eating disorder. No. It's not normal to respond to hunger all the time your body says I'm hungry.
It's like fitness. Let's go get some Chinese food, huh?
Dude,
oh yeah, I had Cold Stone last night. It was
hot
fucking
and
good.
Elk Grove was so
the
good.
best. It's
Cold Stone.
It's still around?
Yes. Go
I didn't even know. A bunch of them shut down.
What?
That's one nutrition hack. Just get some ice cubes, and when you're hungry, just put the ice cube in your mouth.
Guys, he's joking.
Add some salt.
Guys, he's joking. Everyone, he's joking.
Boy, you feel stuffed.
Can people believe everything?
She came into the room with a dildo.
No.
And said, all I want for you in life is to have sexual pleasure and chocolate. Oh, Graham was like, oh, he has a chocolatey voice. And then I was like, why are you calling it chocolatey? But then we got into sex from chocolate. God, Andrew, you sound sexy.
Sorry. Or you're welcome.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Andrew, I think you say sorry too much.
I know. Sorry.
I was going to say, yeah. Can you apologize?
I meant to say sorry. I fucked that joke up. Can we start over?
I think you say sorry too much, Andrew.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry for bringing it up because I didn't mean to hurt your feelings, man. I just I just think that you overly apologize for stuff that you don't need to. Nsima makes you feel awkward, though. I understand that because he does that to everybody because he's a bully. But you don't need to apologize.
It's funny. I do notice when other people apologize too much.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I definitely sometimes will say goodbye too much, even though I try to juggernaut a lot of people. There's also situations I get into where I shake someone's hand and say bye like 17 times, or like say bye like, and then I'm not really gone, and they're not really gone, and then we're still here. And
but are you typically trying to leave the situation when you do that?
Yeah,
like,
I think so.
Bye.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What you eating, man? What's going on over here?
You know what? I'm gonna be real. More of you guys need to try
up on
this
your
shit.
diet? That looks like a pastry. What is going on here?
No. More people need to try this. Like,
Did he melt down?
I'm surprised that more people in our audience haven't really tried the tasty pastry from Legendary because they're really fucking good. Like, and the macros are crazy. 20 grams of protein, 5 grams of net carbs. Like,
and how many calories total?
180.
Getting in my way. 180.
Got it.
And if you're a chubster like me, you dip that shit in your protein drink. Like that's a chubster move and a meathead move all wrapped into one.
I wish it wasn't the afternoon right now because I would have dipped it in my coffee, but I'm breaking my fast right now. So your boy is just going to have this with a Zoa energy drink. They don't sponsor us, guys. It's just we have some. But they're good.
Yeah. Dwayne.
The Rock.
Bro, I think you're involved in this company somehow. You should be able to fork over some dough.
Oddly enough, they taste good. Derek, actually, though, Derek, More Plates, More Dates.
He didn't like the pre-workout?
He didn't. He did a whole video going on why it sucks.
Oh, did he break down all the ingredients and stuff?
He broke down all the ingredients. Yeah.
Well, he knows this shit, and sometimes it's hard to get out of that space. You know, like
just let some shit taste good and have some caffeine.
Exactly.
And one thing I'll say about this shit is it tastes fucking amazing and it has caffeine. So
there
let's
you
go.
But yeah, tasty pastry. What's it called? Brown.
This was brown sugar. Mom, eat both. Do you want me to get you one?
Both.
No, I'm good. Brown sugar and strawberry, same time?
Well, this one's strawberry. Yeah, I'm gonna have both.
Do you have a particular way of eating it, or you just start going down?
Andrew, tell me your way.
So the brown sugar cinnamon one is insane. I'm going to put the camera on you because you're eating it.
Oh, he's got a style going.
Yeah.
I do the same thing. I eat the outside first.
Fuck, that's what you were talking about. Sorry, you can explain that one next. But what I was going to say is the brown sugar cinnamon in the microwave for
dinosaur.
For 15 seconds in the microwave, it comes out tasting like a cinnamon roll. Like legit cinnamon roll. Somebody who eats a Cinnabon and then goes to eat that, you're going to be like, you're a fucking liar. Well, I don't eat Cinnabon, so I'm sorry. But the closest thing I can get to one is the Tasty Pastry brown sugar cinnamon roll. But what Nsima's doing here, I didn't know, Mark, that's how you ate them, but that's what I adopted, is the Tasty Pastries come as a big rectangle, right? It's got the frosting down the middle, and on the edges, we'll say it's got a crust. It's not the bullshit crust like a Pop-Tart that you kind of avoid. It tastes good. With that in mind, though, see what he's doing is he's eating the outside edges first. So you're getting pretty good flavor right there. Nothing wrong with that. That's how I do it.
This is how you eat. Never mind.
Yep. You start on the outside and then you work your way in.
Yep.
Until you get to the good stuff.
A lot of other things, kids.
Until you get to the.
I've had a lot of practice.
Practice makes perfect.
So now Nsima's just left with a landing strip of frosting.
A landing strip. Wow.
It eats one edge first, and that's a good bite. Because
he edged it first.
He did edge it.
Wow,
Yes,
nice job.
That's perfectly said.
But they taste good together too. Like, yo, this is so good.
You're so fat.
Guys, you really need to check it out. If you haven't already, get yourself a box. My favorite flavors are strawberry and brown sugar, but apparently they have a cinnamon roll on their website.
No, dude, it's that one in your hand. The brown sugar cinnamon tastes like a cinnamon roll out of the microwave.
It does taste like a cinnamon roll, yeah. But
He's so lost in how good they taste. You
Nsima missed his true calling. He should have been a professional eater.
Yeah.
You eat pussy like that?
The way this guy can eat, I've never seen anything like it.
That's from a Vigorous Steve
He just
thing.
gets so excited. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's so good.
That stuff's incredible. You guys we're not bullshitting you. This stuff tastes so good. My kids love it. Well, I can't eat it around my 1-year-old because he does want to he wants to pick at everything now. So I'm like, whoa, hold on, wait your turn. But my daughter, she loves them. I wouldn't say she's the pickiest eater, but she's not going to eat a protein bar. And that's the other thing. All right, if you guys are up on YouTube drama and shit, Remington James and Greg Doucette were going back and forth talking shit about each other's protein bars. I love both guys, okay? I wish them nothing but success. With that said, these macros are actually better than those protein bars. Taste-wise, different strokes for different folks, but for my macros, 180 calories, 20 grams of protein, and the flavor.
5 net carbs.
5 net carbs, and you can get into but they put, fiber and blah, blah. It's insoluble fiber. They are smart. They know what the fuck they're doing. You can't go wrong with a Tasty Pastry. So head over to eatlegendary.com. Get the strawberry, for sure get the brown sugar and
the
cinnamon.
chocolate and those other flavors are good too.
Chocolate's
My
amazing.
favorite is just brown sugar and strawberry.
Yeah, same here. You just can't miss with those. Load those up into your cart and use promo code Power Project for 20% off your entire order. Don't even know if that comes out to even cheaper than the other two guys, but like I said, dude, macro wise and taste wise, you cannot beat the Legendary Foods Tasty Pastry. So head over to eatlegendary.com. Again, promo code Power Project to save 20%. Links to them down in the description as well as the podcast show notes.
We need more stuff that helps bridge the gap, between fitness and just real world shit, things that a good thing to try with a Tasty Pastry is to put it in front of a kid. They'll like it. They'll dig it.
Yeah.
The kids are kind of like the ultimate test. Now it might not taste like if a kid is used to eating a lot of junk, it might not have that same level of sweetness that they may be used to, but it's an awesome alternative. And I think we need more things because we're lost in our own little world here of fitness.
Yeah.
And I remember talking with Austin Baumgarten in the gym before, and it was some protein something or a protein shake or whatever. And someone's like, that tastes like a chocolate milkshake or something. And Austin just looked at the guy like he wanted to punch him in the face. And he's like, a chocolate shake from where? And I was like, I'm going to get out of the way because these guys are going to fucking go at it. And he's like, I don't know, like a McDonald's chocolate shake. And Austin's like, no. He's like, it doesn't taste like a McDonald's. He's like, it tastes like fucking protein powder. He's like, I realize maybe it tastes better than some of the other protein powder that's out there. He's like, but any normal person is going to be like, I can still taste that it's got 30 grams of whey protein in it as opposed to 30 grams of fat and 60 grams of sugar or whatever it might be for a shake. So we do need more stuff that helps kind of bridge that gap. And that's a little bit what we're going to be talking about today.
Yes. I will say though, the Within You vanilla with milk. Because I like it's great with water. Like it actually is really good with water. But milk, the shit actually does taste like a shake.
Yep.
It really does. And you could probably do some stuff with the voodoo you do xanthan gum to make it a shake
yes,
consistency.
Dude.
And it truly then does taste like a vanilla milkshake. No lie.
I made
good on the macros.
I made a steak shake ice cream last night.
There you go.
And it was a double scooper of the steak shake, lots of ice and some heavy cream and a little bit of water. And it was just, creamed my pants a couple times. It was so good.
You savage. So
You going to do this in Smelly's kitchen, by the way?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good.
So my go-to has been a bunch of Greek yogurt, big old fat scoop of within you vanilla protein, some heavy cream. I do one for like the IG, and then I do one for reality. Like so, like I do a little splash for IG, and then I do the real one, and I pour it in there.
Yeah.
Mix that all up and throw some fruit on top. It tastes like fucking ice cream. Like, and again, like Austin, I can hear him like, compared to what?
Yelling in the background.
Yeah.
That's not ice cream.
Yeah. That tastes.
Yeah, it might not equal ice cream.
Right.
But it's our...
If you can be patient enough and put it in the freezer for like half an hour to an hour, like, dude, it's, man, it's so easy to enjoy some really, really healthy treats. You know, it's just, you just gotta just switch over, like stop eating, go into the drive-through.
Would you say you're enjoying life, Andrew?
Absolutely.
Would you say you're enjoying life, Mike?
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, for today, we got our boy Sal from Mind Pump. He was on Nick Bear's podcast recently. And I would recommend that people listening to this show, check out some of these other shows. These guys have great information.
Yeah.
Nick, obviously, he's running like a savage, and he's still jacked, and he's still big, and he's still strong. And then the guys over at Mind Pump, they have great information, and they've been nothing but just insanely kind-hearted to us, sharing all kinds of information with us, business information, kind of behind-the-scenes type stuff that you don't even expect people to share with you. So I'm grateful for them, and just grateful for the information that they put out. But Sal, really eloquently kind of paints a picture of why there's such a gap between the fitness industry and getting the regular person kind of on board with just fitness in general and starting to develop some of these disciplines and have these habits ingrained into your kind of daily life. And so we're going to play a clip. If you can hit that clip up so people can hear it.
Yeah, let's see what we got here.
How many times have you talked to somebody? Oh yeah, I used to work out and do that, but I just want to enjoy my life now.
All the time.
Yeah. What a strange thing to say, right? I don't exercise and I don't eat right because I want to enjoy my life. Very, very strange if you really think about it, because you know as well as I do that good exercise, good diet improves the quality of your life. You are able to enjoy it better because your filter through which you experience life is this healthier, more fit and vibrant and more mobile body. And yet, here we have people telling us they stopped because they want to enjoy their life. What does that tell us? They went into it the wrong way, man. They had a totally terrible relationship with it to the point where they stopped because it was detrimental to the quality of their life. That just tells you right there.
Andrew, tell me what you're hearing when you hear that.
I hear a lot because when you're talking to people that aren't in it, when I say in it, I mean like they don't wake up and know that they're going to exercise that day to some fashion. They want to know how long they have to jump on a diet to reach that finish line, so that way they can then no longer be on that diet, because from where they are right now to the end of that diet, there's going to be, I can't do this anymore. I can't have that anymore. There's going to be some form of sacrifice in order to see the scale, the number on the scale, what they want it to say. What he's saying there is so freaking crucial, because if they start thinking there is no finish line, like this is just your habits, this is just who you are now, it's almost like the habit, the finish line disappears, and you're no longer chasing that carrot that's out in front of you. No matter how fast you run, you're just not going to catch up to it. But now eliminate the carrot altogether and be like, this is just who you are. But they see it as, how long do I got to suffer so that way I can get the weight that I want, the body that I want. So when I get there, I can now live my life and have whatever I want and have my cake and eat it too. That's what I'm hearing.
I think people think they're going to like accumulate stuff and pile it up. And same thing with money. They think they're going to accumulate money, pile it up, and then not have to work another day. Kind of same thing here. I'm going to pile up this body. I'm going to have a great body because I did this diet for X amount of weeks or X amount of months even. And once that happens, then I'm going to chill. That's when I'm going to calm down. And even I'll say stuff like that to myself. I'm like, I'm going to probably when I'm like, 50, maybe and I'm like, that ain't ever going to happen. It's not going to happen financially. It's not going to happen with my body. I just want to keep advancing. I just want to keep figuring out ways of getting better. What are you hearing, Nsima?
Man, I was listening to the Blinkist is an amazing app, by the way.
Fuck yeah.
Told you guys about it. It's this app that kind of gives you summaries of books. I usually, if I find a book I'm really interested in, I'll listen to the Blinkist, then I'll go buy the book and go through the book. Nice. But I was listening to this book, Happy Fat. And it's by this author who, guys, I'm really
great name.
Guys, I'm really trying to get into and learn about individuals who think about fat phobia a lot. Like she's a heavier woman. She's kind of against the dieting industry and diet culture. And I really just want to understand the viewpoint on the other side of individuals who aren't focused on fitness. And she was, talking about how like there's internalized fat phobia, how like 95% of diets fail and they probably won't work if people go into it, blah, 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 right? And Sal's talking about this right here. And Andrew, that was what you mentioned, that there's no finish line. The thing is like, first off, yeah, people get into diets. They get into unsustainable habits that they can't continue over time. Let's say they do lose weight. And the reason why there's this idea that 95% of diets fail is that most people are going into these 8-week, 12-week transformations, 3-month 12-week transformations, having habits that they cannot maintain. And then once they stop because they hit an inevitable brick wall, life gets in the way, something gets in the way, they don't have good habits as far as sleep, etc., they go back to their old habits because they're so ingrained and they gain the weight back. And then they say, well, that's because dieting doesn't work. 95% of diets fail. This is unhealthy, blah, 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 right? But if you can change your habits, if you can look at the way you get yourself to sleep each night, look at your relationship with substances, look at your relationship with food and how much you eat each day and what you do when you're turning to food and slowly change these habits, it turns into things that we're doing. We love to eat. I had pizza on the day that I went to go.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Andrew, you hear this?
What do you mean you had pizza?
Wait a second.
You have abs, bro. You can't eat pizza.
There's this place called Mod Pizza. It's one of those places.
Oh, yeah. You get
so
to pick,
fucking good.
You get to pick exactly what you want.
And I don't get why okay, Andrew, before you go in, I don't get why you would get any other pizza because I just kept saying, add more beef, add more pepperoni, add more beef.
Gotcha.
And you don't pay anything more. They just keep slopping on the meat. And she was getting frustrated with me because I just kept telling her to add meat. But we were going on a hike on Sunday and the place we wanted to go, they wouldn't let us in till 2. So we're like, okay, let's get some pizza. So we got some pizza and I loaded up with meat. And it was the only thing I ate at that time. But then we went on this hike. I went home, I ate a steak. And it was cool. But I wasn't bothered by eating that pizza because, number one, it was the only thing I ate so far in that day. Right? And I enjoyed it and it was cool. I didn't feel bad about it. But it's because of all these other things that I do, not eating all day long. I don't intake excess calories from drinks and all these things we talk about. And I don't eat pizza every day. But when I do, it doesn't get in the way of my goals or my progress. And it's not a bad food. It's just like how much of it you have. And do you have it every day? That's the thing.
Right. And when you do have it, you get to enjoy it, right?
Absolutely.
This is a lot of what Sal pointed out. I mean, the guy's a fucking genius. I mean, he's said a lot of really bright things on our show and he continues to say smart things. But like, I just was kind of mystified at how well he was speaking from the other side, it seemed like. But that's a guy that has a lot of experience working with a lot of people and someone that has probably felt the frustration of some of his clients. He's probably been frustrated himself. And it's kind of heartbreaking in a way. You really are. You're trying to help people. They're giving you money. You're trying to provide a service. They told you that when they signed up, they want to lose 20 pounds, 30 pounds, maybe more. And you're having a hell of a time trying to figure it out. And what he also mentions in the podcast, and this is stuff that I found as well, is people think it's just like a lack of discipline. Like they don't know how. I don't understand how to do it. I'll never have the discipline you guys have. We hear that stuff all the time. I'm not, the gym thing, it's not for me. I'm not into that. And we hear a lot of this kind of talk, but then we come to find out the person's a fireman. We come to find out the person's never missed a day of work. We come to find out the person's a devoted husband, devoted mother, whatever the case may be. And you're like, oh, well, this person has a giant, endless well of discipline, it appears, when it comes to a lot of other things. They just haven't mastered this one part of their life. And, hopefully over time we can figure out how to get them there. But one of the things I thought was really compelling about what he said is he mentioned the word filter. And I love that he used that word, because that's what it is for me. Like I go out and run and I'm like, yeah, man, like whatever happens for today, like I'm chill with it. I got fucking jiu-jitsu, karate moves for it. Like I don't really know those things, but I have disciplines in my body that will help me defend myself away from whatever the hell is going on. I can give it a kaya. I can give it a fucking karate chop here and there. And I don't have to, and I could sit there and like not even look, when I do the chop.
It's like Neo from the Matrix.
Yeah. Right.
Like, remember that he had the bullets?
Yeah.
That was
and
sick.
I've mentioned Bruce Lee being like my symbol, like my symbol of peace, right? And he fucks everybody up. But who else would be like, you got to think in a situation where there's 6 people surrounding you, Bruce Lee's like, this is going to be awesome. Like these guys picked the wrong person. I have this skill set to deal with this stress, with this harm that's trying to be inflicted upon me. So I really like the word filter, because he's able to filter whatever's coming in and have a different interpretation, a different perspective from it, based off of what's coming at him in the day.
The perspective that I think is very interesting, though, because, he mentioned that individual who says, I stopped doing that. I stopped doing the exercise. I stopped doing this or that so I could enjoy life. And I think later on in that clip, Sal actually mentions like the main reason people think that, like, people look at me, and I've heard this before, they're like, oh, you must be so strict, or you must not really have that much fun, or you must be super restricted, right? Like people think that because of the way I look and the way I eat, that I must have like a very restricted diet, or my life must not be fun as far as when it comes to food. And same with you, Andrew. But that's not true. That's not true at all. And it's because of the way that we approach exercise, it's because of the way that we approach food. I could understand somebody not doing everything that we do from the get-go, because we know that to change and to be able to progress as far as fitness is concerned, you need to slowly change and, like, first off, figure out what the bad habits you have are, because if they're your habits, you might not even realize they're bad. You might not realize that being on your phone before bed and going to bed late is bad for you because it messes with your sleep. You might not realize that keeping certain foods in the house is bad for you because you keep it there because other people live with you, but you end up binging on it every now and then and it adds up. You might not realize that drinking certain things is bad for you because those calories can add up, or that alcohol affects your sleep before you go to bed and you don't sleep well and it messes with your decision making the next day. Your cravings and decision making the next day. So you might not even realize that that's one of the things that's totally fucking you. But we do, and we have these little habits. I drink, but I don't really drink past 6 or 7 p.m., right? Because I know it's going to mess with my sleep. I'll fast for some of the day, but when I eat a lot of food, so I feel satisfied. I don't feel like I'm restricted at all in terms of food. But we have these little things that make our life so easy and so enjoyable that I believe that if in the individual that Sal was talking about, if they had an opportunity to do the things that we do, and if our habits were ingrained in them, they'd feel that life was fucking amazing.
This takes a long time. It really does. It takes a long time. And what Andrew mentioned about the finish line, I think it's actually amazing that people are that intuitive, that they kind of know what they're getting themselves into. So a lot of people won't even get involved in fitness at all because they're like, I think that just seems way too hard, way too difficult. And for the person that got out of it because they said like they want their life to be better because they were so tied to all this stuff, they just took on too much. You literally like bit off more than you can chew. And we see this with people, like there's a lot of adults that they do a 9-to-5 job, they have a couple children, they have a wife, they have commitments. Maybe they go to church and like one kid plays softball, the other kid plays football. And you got like, you're going from this practice and that practice and like, you're kind of with your kid, but you're just driving them to and from shit.
Mm-hmm.
You don't feel like you have the kind of quality time that you thought of when you thought about having a family. And there's so many other stresses going on that you're like, you know what? For today, I'm going to make an exception. I'm going to roll through McDonald's. But then the next day is, well, it's Saturday and I should be able to enjoy myself. Well, it's Sunday and there's football on, like it just keeps going on. Oh, Monday is my mom's birthday. And just, it's like, okay, well, it's your mom's birthday. That doesn't mean it's somebody else's birthday. It doesn't mean you have to partake in whatever the thing is. And it doesn't mean that you have to miss it. Are you taking on too much? Why not take on an amount that you feel could be something that you could live with? And I stole that right from Sal. He says it in the podcast. He says, let's start to talk more openly about a couple decisions that you feel you can live with. Now, that doesn't mean that you do it from this day forward forever and you never miss a day, but could you drink 2 more glasses of water every day? Start to go through that list and check that off. Can I do 1 10-minute walk every day? And again, I'm not saying you're going to be perfect. There might be days of travel and there might be some stuff that's screwed up, but these are like things that you want to try to make non-negotiable. Could I do a better job of keeping my phone out of my room? I'm not even saying to keep your phone out of your room. I'm saying, can you do a better job of that? Can you do a better job of being conscious of how much protein you eat?
Mm-hmm.
Again, I'm not going to even throw down a requirement that staples you to that, but can you do that? And then from there, you can kind of walk yourself through, like, what are the foods that you like that are healthy? Can you eat a little bit more of those? I didn't even try to subtract anything yet. I didn't even try to take anything away from you. Could you replace some of the soda that you're drinking with some Coke Zeros or some other alternative, something that you feel is going to be a better decision than the 120 calories that you're drinking from the soda and the 40 grams of sugar or whatever the hell it is?
Mm-hmm.
That's the way you want to try to paint this picture. What are things? All right, I'm starting tomorrow. I'm going to the gym every day and I'm not going to eat any carbs. And I'm going to start that on Monday, and the summer's coming up. By August, I'm going to be fucking shredded. You guys won't even know. You guys won't even be able to recognize me. I'm going to be so fucking lean. That's where I think some people that are in fitness, that's where they start. And that fucking backfires. And people that aren't in fitness, they're like, I'm going to do this. And I heard about this guy losing 20 pounds in 20 days. They're like, I'm going to lose 40 pounds in 20 days. Watch what I'm going to be able to do. And they dive all in. I'm going to exercise. I'm going to do. They still have all their other responsibilities of bringing the kid to softball, bringing the other kid to football, and all the other shit that you have going on. And it's just way too much.
Yeah. It's weird when you start celebrating those, like the one decision to do X, Y, and Z. Our household is just like everyone else's. We are conscious about our diet and exercise, but there's nights where it's like no meat is defrosted. We got no plans. Like, all right, I'm going to drive through In-N-Out on the way home. It happens. I remember same situation. Nothing was ready, prepared to go. Mm-hmm. No excuses for it, but just nothing was ready. It's like, I don't want to do that again. Like, no, I'm going to go home and cook, some Piedmontese and actually like have like a real dinner for us. The feeling that you get after all that of being like, I didn't do the drive-through thing. I didn't feed my family some garbage. I fed them some nutritious food. Like we all stayed on plan. Like we all ate together. We're happy. It sounds weird, but like there's no amount of any fast food or any prepped foods from somebody else that could have tasted better than what we ate that night, because we all fucking won, and it's just those little small like wins like that. When you're on the outside, you're just like, oh, whatever, dude. Like you ate dinner, no fucking big deal. I like In-N-Out. I would have went there instead or whatever, you know. But when you start accumulating these points, like it feels so good. You couldn't have paid me to eat fast food that day. It would have been fucking impossible. I'm like, no, I'm going to feed my family some real shit.
And on that, dude, it's like, if you're someone who you find that you're eating out a lot, you're going out and buying a lot of fast food quite a bit for yourself, for your family, or that's one of your things, then maybe instead you make a decision to purchase some meat, purchase something that you can cook, and say, okay, instead of going out to eat 5 times this week, I'm going to try to only go out to eat 3 times this week, 2 or 3 times this week. It's the thing you were just talking about. Try to lower your barrier to entry with these goals. It would be great if you didn't go out and eat at all that week. Would be great. But the thing is like, let's say you don't manage that. A lot of people, when they don't hit that goal that they had to be perfect, they punish themselves, and then they immediately they just fall off the wagon. They're like, well, I knew this shit wouldn't really work. I knew I couldn't stay consistent. I knew I fucked up. So they go back to their bad habits because they don't think, oh, I've made it. It's that all-in mentality that can really fuck you. You know, some people can praise that, and it's like admirable when you see someone go all in on a goal and then they've been 100% and they're killing. Okay, that's great. But especially when trying to get rid of bad habits and build new habits that you are quite literally not used to doing, it's much better if you you give yourself some grace and leeway when you fail. When you don't actually follow through fully with that goal. Look at what you did good. Well, shit. You usually only cook 1 meal at home. Did you manage to cook 3 meals at home this week? Good fucking job. That's a move in the right direction. Can we do a little better next week, or can we at least keep it to that 3 meals that you cooked at home? Cool. Let's progress from there. But trying to build habits, like doing the things that you do every single day and trying to put all those habits in at once, if you don't hit that goal, you're going to fall off. So if you don't hit things perfectly, understand that that's an okay thing to do.
I think most people, if they were to hang with us for a few days, they would be pretty tired. You know, they'd be pretty exhausted trying to do what we do. However, we would be exhausted trying to do what they do. We're not used to it. You have a 9-to-5 job and you think you have this cushy job where you just sit in your office and you're thinking like it's not that hard. Well, I know Andrew's done it before, but me and Nsima would fucking die doing that. Like that would be, I mean, I'd get fired right away. Like I would just be such a shitty employee, first of all, but I can't walk in your shoes because I could walk in your shoes if it's something that I did progressively over time. If you're like, Mark, you work at this computer for this amount of time, and then tomorrow and a couple weeks we're going to build up to doing this, and then you got these other responsibilities. I would imagine that I would be able to do it. But if I just jumped in out of nowhere, I wouldn't be able to do it. It would feel overwhelming, and it would fuck with a lot of my other decision-making skills. I think one of the reasons why some of the people that are getting to be really popular, and I think we're going to see more and more people like this, and we're going to see fitness being made fun of more, not necessarily like a fitness shaming type of way, but in a fun kind of theatrical way, the way that James Smith does it, the way that Jordan Syatt does it.
Yeah.
Those guys are absolutely hilarious. Andrew, if you can bring up the clip of James Smith on Instagram where he pretends he's a doctor. I mean, this clip is just great. He takes a stethoscope, puts it on his back, and we'll just show the clip of it in a second here. But I think that you're going to see, because there is that huge gap, and we all know it. We're like, oh, this is this is normal for me to go to Thanksgiving with my Tupperware, or some of these insane freaking things that we do in the fitness industry.
Let me know which one it is when you see it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's earlier than, is it?
It wasn't too long ago. It should be probably like a reel, I would imagine.
It's definitely a reel. Just go to his reels. And I also sent you something, Andrew. Like, pull that up later because it's kind of funny. But
oh no, it's probably not going to be in the thumbnail.
Yeah, it's gonna be, oh, there we go.
Yep, there it is.
Okay, let me.
699,000. Wow.
You guys need to be following James
How do
Smith, by
you-
the way. He's phenomenal.
Oh, there it is. Sorry.
Doctor. Very interesting. I think the reason you're not losing fat is because you're not eating.
Hold on, let me start it over.
My name's Dr. Smith, and you should believe everything I say because I'm a doctor. Very interesting. I think the reason you're not losing fat is because you're not eating enough. And I think we found
Amazing.
the source of the problem. Carbohydrates.
Whoa.
If you wish to lose fat, you can never eat carbohydrates. To examine you properly, I need you to take your shorts and pants off. Care to explain this? Eating leaves? Leaves are bullshit. Leaves do not want to be eaten. Why are you eating things that don't want to be eaten? What's that? A cow doesn't want to be eaten. That's not the narrative. I'm a doctor, especially one that's very
This
active on
guy's good.
social media. The only thing I care about is people's health and patient. And
Throws the
patient
money
welfare.
aside.
I'm only doing this to help people, not to build a following or to make money. My name's Dr. Smith.
So good.
I love that. If y'all saw the subtitles, you know,
The subtitles are very
he's going after
creative.
Salad Man.
Yeah.
I love
This is-
Salad Man, but that was funny.
That was just amazing, and the ridicule on fitness is great. Like, you know, you don't necessarily like. I like a low carb style diet. I talk about a war on carbs and all that stuff all the time, but I also understand there's an energy equation to this whole thing, and for me, not eating a lot of carbohydrates helps me keep my energy that I take in check.
And you get more fat. Let's like,
Yeah,
So some people
yeah.
who are newer may not realize you get a lot of fat
Yeah.
and lower carbohydrates.
Absolutely.
Right? So you're
Yeah.
getting an energy. You're getting energy. Oh,
What's this, Nsima?
okay. I wanted to mention this because H3HV is a really funny dude, but he mentioned this thing about exercise, and I hope this is the clip. But just play it real quick. It's only a minute.
Life's too short to exercise. I'm just going to be honest. There's so many better things to do than exercise. We have finite time on this earth. And like, people, this is what I'm saying.
Look at her
This-
face.
the exercise is such a conspiracy. They go, let's say you spend an hour on a treadmill every day.
Money, Ethan.
It's not a conspiracy.
Let me explain why it's a conspiracy. You spend an hour on a treadmill every day.
Yeah.
Somebody get out a calculator. Okay, let's say you live to be 85.
Okay, 85 years old.
And you're exercising every day since 15 years old.
So
Okay.
70 years of exercise.
70 years. So 70 times 365 and an hour every day. How many hours?
25,500.
Divided by 24.
1,064 days.
Divided by 365.
It's 14
What are we
pages.
doing?
It's just a little under 3 years. Under
3 fucking years of your life walking a treadmill.
Yeah, but
On page 14.
here's the thing. Will that exercise extend your life more than 3 years?
No!
If there's-
What an interesting take. I dig it. I dig
Well,
it. But
So so here's the interesting part. Like we were just talking about exercise being dumb, exercise being kind of stupid. In what he's saying, like it makes a lot of sense, but exercise will accumulate a lot over time. And depending on what you spend your exercise time doing, if you spend your exercise time lifting weights, you can assist yourself to burn more calories throughout the day, and it could make it easier to enjoy certain foods certain times when you do want to let your guard down and when you do want to enjoy yourself and experience certain things without being overweight, without being out of breath when you go upstairs, without being out of shape for parties or whatever the things are that you want to do. You should be able to experience life a little bit better when you're in better shape rather than worse shape. The thing I do find really interesting, though, is you don't have to spend that time doing something like being on a treadmill. Like that is a good example. Like I think if you are managing your weight and you're on a treadmill and you are fairly happy about it, then I think that's fine. But there's other things that you could be getting to that could probably be a better usage of your time. And I think trying to trade out burning calories and calories in, calories out isn't a great way to look at fitness. And I don't think it even really works that well. If you were to say, hey, I'm going to keep my body fat in check by doing this treadmill every day for an hour, I would say, is that because you like to eat certain foods? Like, what is that for? Because you could simply just change some of your habits with your sleep change some of your habits with your energy intake, and you don't have to spend that time. I've said this before on the show. Food costs you time. Food is time. The more junk food you eat, the more time you got to spend on it. The more junk food that you eat, the more time you may spend in the hospital, the more money you're going to pay for the more medical bills that you're going to amount, the more prescription drugs that you may need. So I like what that guy's pointing out. I like what he's saying, and it's fun and it's funny. But at the same time, like, we don't necessarily need a lot of exercise. So in a way, I agree with him. We don't necessarily need a lot of exercise in order to figure out a good energy balance.
I love Ethan Klein. I used to watch a lot of H3 back in the day. Do you guys remember Just the Right Height, No Bucket Required? Yeah. He was like, no, just the right height, no bucket. Okay, he was reacting to a video about a man who loves to have sexual intercourse with horses, and that guy said,
"I've heard that before."
Yeah, that guy in the video was like, "They're just the right height, no bucket required." So he doesn't have to stand on a bucket to get his thing on with that horse. But Ethan has been anti-exercise for a while, and I think it's really interesting because, like, I agree with you. I kind of get what he's saying there, like spending an hour on a treadmill each day. But when I look at like resistance training in the gym, there's all the benefits of getting big and jacked and having big muscles. Cool. That's great. But I think of the long term, like I see my grandma right now, she's 100, right? I know that if my grandma, if weight training was a normal thing to do when she was younger, and if she did it, at this point, she'd be walking around a little better, probably. She'd have more resiliency in terms of her body. Now, she's done a great job since she's walked all her life because her mental acuity and even her body is good to some extent at 100 years old. But I think about some of the stuff that we're doing just to keep muscle mass on. Because as we get older, there's going to come a point where we start to lose a little bit of that muscle mass. Decades and decades. But if we still have the ability at 70, 80, 90 years old to bend down and pick up a dog, a puppy, or walk up the stairs without having pain in our hips, right? Because we have built up these parts of our body to be able to withstand time. That's not just potentially living longer, but also having a just much better quality of life because of the exercise that we do. And the weird thing is that, like, exercise in and of itself, it's something that's even more necessary because of the way that we live these days. We've talked about this on podcasts, but if you think back to the fucking even the 80s, right? Let's look at the 40s and 50s. People weren't necessarily sitting around on screens or at desks as often. Yeah. Movement was more of a normal thing. Going outside, walking, etc. That was more normal. Now, like, we have to talk about taking walks. That's abnormal. Everything can come to us. So we need to be using our bodies more so our bodies will be more resilient and last longer. And so that hopefully we can last longer. So it's a necessary thing.
I wonder if this guy are you aware, does he have any like hobbies that where he's like, fucking skiing or water skiing or like
physical wise? Like I don't know if Ethan hikes or whatever, but I just know like whenever exercise, like he in the past, apparently he's tried doing that stuff, but it's just never been something that's really been up his alley. Right. And I could understand some people who are like, I don't like to exercise. But I just look at, I do all of this because I enjoy it, but I also look at decades down the road, how will my life be if I don't have these habits in line? Because I can see examples of that. I see examples of people who don't really take care of things, who don't move much. And it's obvious to see that we need to do some maintenance of this meat sack if we're going to be able to have it last a long time.
It would be great to try to get a hold of somebody like that and communicate with them and maybe, get them on the podcast or something and say, like, do you not want to, push your mind forward? Because your mind or your brain has like X capacity, like no one really knows what it is. But I'm sure he's very successful.
Extremely.
So I'm sure like he's a guy who's progressing and moving forward all the time. So it appears that he's using, 80% of his brain. And like he's got this capacity humming when it comes to his brain, when it comes to things that are business related. But then his heart, like why would he only set his heart at like 40% of what its capacity is? Like why not expand that a bit? And because we know that when you start looking into other stuff, business wise, or even just interest wise, how much more that opens up a lot of other stuff. Like, I don't know his background and his history, but I'd imagine something started with one small step in this direction, and it ended up being a giant leap for him in the long run. And that's the way all this stuff works. And so that's why we encourage a lot of exercise. But please forgive us if we sent the message of like that we think you're a bag of shit if you're not in the gym. Because fuck the gym. Like, I think the gym sucks sometimes too. Like, I don't always want to be in the gym. I've been in the gym for like 30 years, and I'm a knucklehead, and I understand all that, and I get it. But I like being outside. I like doing other things. So if you never find a real vested interest in the gym, don't go.
Yeah.
You don't have to go.
I agree with that. But I also think, and again, everyone can live their life the way they want to live it. I get that. But I also think that, like, if an individual, so if you're if you want to have a life where there's potentially not a crazy amount of pain in your body as you get older, because you see older individuals always talk about low back pain, knee pain, things start to go. They don't get up as much. They start to be seat bound a lot, where they're just sitting a lot. And if you want to have a life where in the future you take a trip somewhere and you want to be able to move around well, painless, and feeling strong and with vitality, you don't have to go to the gym, but you should find something that can allow you to exert your body in some way and build some muscle tissue, because as you get older, it gets harder to build muscle.
Right.
If anything, the body is like, it gets easier to lose muscle, right? So you want to build a body that's resilient over time, so that when you're in those stages of your life where you're 50, 60, 70, you can still do all those things that maybe you took for granted when you were 20, 30, 40, like going downstairs or bending down to pick something up. All these simple things, you don't want those things to be hard when you're older. If anything, you want those things to just be a part of life, easy. And that's why, like, you don't need the gym, but you still need something that'll allow you to not just move, take walks outside, whatever, but build some muscle. Because thinking outside of just looking better or looking more pleasing as far as your aesthetics are concerned, you want that muscle to be able to function for life. And that's the things that I think about, and that's the things that we think about here.
Body weight exercises, moving yourself up and down, stairs or hills, carrying stuff. Like, you don't have to necessarily hit the gym, but the gym is a way more convenient way of like getting a lot of these things done.
Yeah.
So I think you can kind of use your imagination. Body weight exercises, mountain biking. Like, there's a lot of options that you could hold on to, like even just going for a sprint and doing some jumping. I saw a guy who's probably mid 50s, maybe even a little older. I saw him out at UC Davis sprinting on the grass, and I just stopped him for a second. And I said, "Hey," I said, "that was freaking." He was moving well. I was like, "This is really cool."
Yeah.
He wasn't like, he didn't have like the best physique or anything. He just was kind of a normal desk job looking kind of guy. He didn't have a lot of body fat on him or anything, but he also wasn't like completely ripped or anything crazy like that. I said, "Hey, how often do you come out here and do that?" I was like, "That's awesome." He says, "Every day." It's like, God damn. And I said, "Do you like lift and do some other stuff?" He's like, "Yeah, I don't really love it," but he's like, once or twice a week, he's like, I do some resistance training. I'm like, that guy gets it. That guy found, okay, I like this. I'm going to do this a lot. There's this other thing that I know that would probably be in my best interest to do. I don't love it, but I'm going to go in and make sure that I get it here and there.
Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah, I think the biggest hurdle is just the misconception and just uneducatedness of the gym. The reason why I say that, because I'm thinking back about like what hurdles I had to get through just to become a regular inside the gym. Sorry, everybody, my voice is all fucked up.
It's sexy.
No, it's hard to breathe without like trying to cough this whole time.
Need mouth to mouth.
No,
Maybe.
I got you. Yeah.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Three-way mouth to mouth. Hey now. Okay, you're looking at me right in the eyes.
Do you not like that?
I mean, I love it, but this thing
How
is,
come dogs are weird about that when you look them right in the eye?
they are, huh?
They are.
They really are.
You ever look your dog like dead in the eye?
Yeah, I do that all the time.
The dog's get pissed. They start barking at you and stuff.
Not mine. I think mine are used to now because I'll just stare
because
at them.
you probably tackle them and fucking.
I think like it's funny
They
you
like
say
look around
that.
your face a lot.
Yeah, I heard that somewhere yesterday. I was like, and then I started looking at my dog.
I think
in the
Rogan
eye.
mentioned it, but I've noticed it before, even with my little tiny doggy.
Yeah.
Does Daisy get weird about you?
Yeah.
Andrew, don't lose your train of thought.
I'm pretty sure I'll remember it. But no, my youngest dog, because he's like, he'll start barking at like the wind. I'm like, motherfucker, you woke up the kid again.
Yeah.
And so he'll come close to me when he's asleep, and I'll just stare at him, and he'll be like, I know I fucked up. He'll be like, I don't know what I did, but I'm sorry already. And I'm just staring him right in the his eyes, and he just like,
It's a
he
dominance thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I love looking at my dogs in the eye because like they just like they do that all the time.
They're like, this motherfucker's for real. I don't know what happened, but he seems to be serious.
Also, sidetrack. I gotta say, it feels good waking up in the morning and walking downstairs to 3 wolves that just go into my backyard. Like I have
dope.
3 huskies, so it just feels badass. Anyway,
That's awesome.
go back to your
Going back, the resistance going into the gym was like, I just assumed gym bros were literally everybody. Not that a gym bro's bad, but like I thought like everybody was on steroids. Like I thought like all these things, and then I had no idea what the fuck I was doing in the gym anyways. So when you combine that with like bad experiences in like PE and shit, like the we think like, oh yeah, just do a little bit of exercise, but it's like, dude, a little bit of exercise is like they want to do anything except that. They'll do anything. And so it's just I don't know how we do bridge that gap of just like educating everybody and being like, hey, like no one's going to look at you. No one's going to make fun of you. If you ask for help, they will help you. And honestly, that's probably where you should start anyways.
And if somebody's such a dick that they stare at you or do something in the gym, that's
person.
like
That's not cool.
Yeah, a lot of people have that feeling when they step foot for the first time in the gym, especially women, or especially people who are a little bit heavier and they're trying to change. Sometimes some people do have a bad experience with somebody where now they're just like, all these fitness people are that way, but that I don't think that's most people. I don't think that's most people in the gym. You know what I mean?
I think any decent gym will filter out those people anyways, because there's going to be more people willing to help than, it's going to be rare if anybody's trying to actually like film you and make fun of you or whatever.
Yes, this shit's
but
really
like, dude, if I saw that, I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? I'd be, I don't know. Like I would definitely say something like now that I know, what's up. But yeah, I'm just thinking like the barriers of entry, like we try to make them as low as possible, but I think a lot of it has to do with like the just misunderstanding of like what it actually is like to go to the gym. It makes me want to like, I think I had this idea a while back, but like filming my whole experience of like going and signing up for a gym and being like a total noob at a new location, so that way people know what to expect. I think that'd be fun.
Do you guys think that everyone experiences a time in their life where they want to be stronger?
Oh, I mean, yeah, I think so.
I can't imagine not.
I mean, like when you think of like simple things, like moving objects, if you have to move, right, and you have to help somebody move a couch or do something, like I can imagine there are instances where like you're like an individual who doesn't exercise at all or whatever, like your body feels kind of weak or frail. You know what I mean? And that's an instance where you'd want to get stronger.
Yeah, I'm just thinking back like when I was a kid. Like now, I was into sports, but I mean, whatever it is in PE, like you're playing kickball, and it's like, dude, I wish I was strong enough to kick the fuck out of this ball so that way I could hit a home run. Like what the most like minimalist, like stupid thing, but a kid would think of. Like, yeah, everybody has at some point been like, I wish I was stronger to do that.
Yeah. What about the kid in school that's kind of intimidating? He's known for like fighting or whatever, and not saying you need to necessarily be stronger, but you need a skill set to be able to overcome that guy, or to not even sweat him at all. Like maybe he doesn't even fuck with you, and maybe it's not really a thing, but like you just don't like the aura that he has, that he like, because he wants to be mean and kick everyone's ass type thing. I think that you're ultimately going to be faced with it no matter what you do. Whether it hits you at 80 or 90, or whether it hits you when you're 13, I think ultimately everybody will be faced with the realization like, man, I need to probably get a little stronger. When you're older, when you're elderly, you're going to be faced with, your bones degenerating, your body breaking down, and you can prolong a lot of this stuff with a lot of different things. Just not overeating, not overeating. This is like a myth, and I kind of want to shoot a video on this. Is like one of the fastest ways to get stronger is for most people to lose weight. And they would just be like, no, like, because they ask me all the time, didn't you get weaker when you lost weight? But I'm like, but weaker for what? Stronger for what? Body weight wise, I'm way stronger. Like, you want to increase. Think about your average person. They're not that strong anyway to start with, right? Especially if they don't have a background in lifting. Imagine just your average person loses 50 pounds. How much longer can they hold themselves on that pull-up bar? How much easier is it for them to do full range of motion squats?
Yeah.
The person who's 50 pounds overweight, if you said, hey, let me see you do 10 lunges on each leg, they would say, I think I need like a warm up. And it might be because their knees hurt and stuff like that. So you literally get stronger. I'm not saying for everybody, because there's some people that are already thin and they don't need to worry about necessarily losing weight. But strength is something that is always going to be sitting there. And it's part of the reason why I say strength is never weakness. Weakness is never strength. There's not really going to be a time where you're like, yeah, I wish I was a lot weaker. Like, that would have been super beneficial. If I was weaker for that fight, that would have been great. I would have got my ass kicked faster. If I was weaker to get out of that burning building, like, that would have been, you know what I mean? Like, you want to be bigger, stronger, faster to some extent, in some capacity, in some way. And I think I don't know anything about like what it's like growing up being a girl, but I know as a boy, when you're kind of in those, I don't know, between, it could happen even younger, I guess, but like between 6 and like, I don't know, 15, like, you're kind of hit with strength stuff all the time. You see these superheroes, and like, I mean, think about how much you admire like Superman until you find out he's a scam. He's just a fucking alien. But think about how much you admire like some of these superhero people, and they all have this shape, of somebody that like lifts. They all have kind of like this superhuman strength that we're attracted to. And even just little stuff, like, you just remember being like on the playground and being able to, maybe kids are on the merry-go-round. And you want to, have everyone go super fast, and it's kind of fun to get everybody to go a little faster, or to be able to hang on the monkey bars and like just any of that stuff. It makes being able to hit a home run, being able to kick everyone's ass on like dodgeball. You're just beaming the fuck out of kids with the ball. You're like, hell yeah, this is great. I might be stupid, but I can fuck these kids up with this ball.
Stupid fucking kids. Yeah. Oh man, it was funny though when we were talking about Superman being bullshit. The people that were in the comment section like backing him up.
Oh, that's
like,
great.
no, on his planet he was actually still superior and da da da. It's like, nah, man.
Nah, he was an average schmo. Come on,
he was just a regular ass dude.
I do find it funny though, like the meathead stereotype is still a thing.
Oh yeah,
it's like, it's still like, if somebody sees that you're kind of big, or that you look kind of fit or whatever, they have this expectation of probably how you think. Like, you're probably always thinking about protein and your next meal or your next workout, or your life must be boring, or your life must not be enjoyable, and it must be all about the gym. I know that is us.
I was gonna say, that sounds pretty accurate.
But I really don't like. I don't think that like to get in good shape, it doesn't have to be anything ridiculous, but to get in good shape, or even build some muscle, or look like a meathead, that your life literally has to revolve around working out in the gym. It doesn't. Like, when I'm outside of here, I'm not always thinking about everything about the gym. I like a lot of things outside of that, but nothing about what I do. Again, I think we should get into the nutrition aspect of things in terms of how we do things, but it's not restrictive at all. You know what I mean? I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything as far as like food is concerned, or as far as any of that is concerned.
A couple times a day, just like anybody else, we get hungry.
Yeah.
And like, I might have like right now, I'm pretty hungry. But if I ate breakfast today, I would still right now be pretty hungry. If I'm in between meals, your average person, I would imagine, gets hungry.
Yes.
We just have an ability to like shut it down, so we got used to it. So we just do some intermittent fasting here and there. Or, a couple things that we adopted is like, hey, let's just go for a walk. I'm not saying to go for a walk in place of nutrition and in place of, having good nutrients
Just
in
eat
your
air.
body.
That's what you're talking
Yeah,
about,
no,
right?
it's
Like just
perfect.
living off of oxygen.
You'll be
That's-
fine. Yeah, you'll be full. You'll be big as fuck.
Can you have ice on this diet?
No.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
maybe.
something I do sometimes. When I feel hungry,
Oh, I
I
didn't know
just
about the ice.
Chew on
I
ice.
chew ice cubes because it gives me a little bit of liquid and that taste of that water.
And then you're just stuffed. You're like, whoa, wow.
That's a great feeling.
I am full.
Yeah, yeah.
Whew.
I
Why can't
cannot have
everybody
those.
do
It's
this?
very refreshing. That's one nutrition hack. Just get some ice cubes, and when you're hungry, just
Oh,
put the ice
no.
cube in your
Guys,
mouth.
he's joking.
Add some salt.
Guys, he's joking. Everyone, he's joking.
Well,
Please.
you feel stuffed.
Fucking people believe everything.
I hope you didn't lose your train
No,
of
no,
thought.
I'm good. Hit up a walk, exercise, and you'll notice, like when you exercise, that kind of burn in the back of your head for food is not as bad. Get your workout in. A lot of times it will start to subside, and then get to your food when you get to it. But my point being is that I've said this before as well. When I was 330 pounds, I was fucking hungry. When I implement some intermittent fasting, I get fucking hungry. It's not an emergency. I'm not, like, we use the word starving, which I think is like not a great word to use because there are people that are starving in the world.
That's different.
It's different, man. Yeah, you might just be bored, or maybe it is time for you to eat because maybe you've been too calorie restricted as of late, and maybe your expenditure is a little higher. So maybe your body is telling you something, but we don't have to be jerked around by every single emotion or every single thing that we feel or every single thing that we smell or see. We get to kind of control that, think about it a little bit, and then respond to it.
Pat Project family, how's it going? We talk about sleep all the time on this podcast. That's why we're partnered with 8 Sleep mattresses. Now, this mattress is the Tesla of sleep. It's the Tesla of beds. Its technology tracks your heart rate variability. It changes its own temperature based off the way you sleep so that you get better sleep every single night. It is quite literally insane. Check them out. Andrew, how do they get it?
Yes, and before I do that, I wanted to let you guys know that you can actually set the bed to wake you up silently. I know that sounds weird, but actually the bed starts vibrating around your head and it doesn't wake up the entire household the way my phone used to do back in the day. So now I just kind of have the bed wake me up silently, and it's amazing. You guys got to head over to 8sleep.com/power project. That's EIGHT sleep.com/power project. When you guys go there, you'll see a banner across the top saying that you're going to receive $150 off automatically. So again, that's 8sleep.com/power project to receive $150 off your Pod Pro cover or your Pod Pro cover and mattress combo. Links to them down in the description as well as the podcast show notes. Let's get back to the podcast.
Yeah. I wanted to go back to Sal on Nick Bear's podcast. He said something that you and I both really were into. He was talking about motivation, and he gave the example of like a new like entrepreneur. I'm gonna work 7 days a week, 15 hours a day, and in the next 2 years I'm gonna be a millionaire. And then a year or even less down the road, he's all burnt out. He set all these goals when he was super fired up. So what Sal had recommended was set goals when you're unmotivated. He didn't use the term like they'll be more realistic, but that's essentially what he's saying. He's like, you won't build this huge mountain that you have to climb. Instead, you'll build something that you can build on top of when you start getting the motivation.
Exactly.
And I thought that was huge because I hear it all the time, like, oh, I would go to the gym, but I'm not motivated. Or I would do this and that, but I'm not motivated. Or I start really good on Monday, and then by Friday, I'm not motivated anymore. People, they really buy it. They drink the Kool-Aid. No, they buy into the motivational thing. They think like they have to have it, and when it's gone, so do all the habits, and everything has to fucking bounce too, which is kind of crazy.
That's lethal to have that kind of train of thought. And I think, it's not necessarily that you're trying to think of these goals when you're like unmotivated. It's not when you're like in this heightened state and fired up and excited. It's when you can actually think about it a little bit more. And again, put a lot of value on whatever it is that you're going to decide to start doing, and have it be something that you're saying to yourself, I'm going to adopt this. I'm going to try to adopt this for a long time. I want to see what this looks like for a few weeks, a few months. I want to have this practice going on for a period of time, see how it starts to feel. You might be wrong in the thing that you're trying at first, and you might have to keep kind of bouncing back and forth between other things. But eventually everyone's going to be faced, everyone is going to be faced or pushed into a corner. Unless you die prematurely, everyone's going to be pushed into a corner where they have to think about fitness, health in some capacity.
Yes.
They're going to have to think about getting stronger. Their doctor's going to say, man, your blood pressure is really high. We have to do something. Then they're going to give you blood pressure medication. Instead of the blood pressure medication, well, not instead of, but maybe with the blood pressure medication, you work on getting yourself to a better spot to where maybe you don't need that medication. And maybe you could maybe you can find some type of exercise, find a couple things to do, reduce your caloric intake. The reason for the gym isn't necessarily a place to burn calories. I think that's the biggest myth.
Yeah.
People are going to go to the gym, hop on the treadmill, I'm going to jog on there, and then I'm going to do abs and I'm going to bounce. That's, you can do that, but that's not what the gym's for. The gym is for building. The gym is building your future out. You are trying to build some muscle. You're trying to gain some muscle. And yes, you'll burn calories along the way, which is fantastic. But you're also nutrient partitioning. You're shoving carbohydrates into some different spots rather than having that kind of sit in your fat cells. And in addition to that, you're also building muscle, which will build up that metabolism. You'll be able to burn more calories over time. It takes a long time. It's annoying. It can be frustrating, but you're also building up some strength in the process. And strength is something that you can see change very, very rapidly. So the weight on the scale and the muscle mass and stuff, that might take some time, but your actual strength with certain lifts, you're going to see those go up immediately, especially if you're new.
And one thing is, when you're new too, don't expect that it's going to feel easy. Like this thing, like you changing that habit and starting to exercise or go to the gym or anything new, it's going to feel foreign. It's going to feel uncomfortable. It's going to feel hard in the beginning, just like anything new that you do. If you want to pick up playing the guitar, you're going to realize that your fingers fucking hurt on the strings when you first start playing and they're sore, and things just aren't making sense and you're going to want to quit. Or if you start doing anything, martial art, the gym, whatever, you can't expect it to just be just another thing that you can pick up like that. Something that you're going to have to learn. And that's one thing why adults find it a little bit harder, because adults aren't used to doing new things that often that they stick with for a long time. So one thing is, you shouldn't think that it's going to be the easiest thing, but at the same token, that's also why you shouldn't force yourself into doing it every single day. You can, if that's something you want to aim for, yeah, but you can aim for it and have the expectation to maybe do it 2 or 3 times, because it's when you do it that much that you can't sustain it and then you burn yourself out. But if you do burn yourself out, because that can happen with a lot of things. I've burnt myself out with jiu-jitsu when I first started out. I didn't stop. I just decreased my frequency of doing jiu-jitsu each week so that I could sustain it. You figure out what level is sustainable for you at the time, then you work off of that. It's the same way that I think that we kind of look at food at this point. Because when we started doing intermittent fasting, I think I started doing that in like 2017 or something like that. I went a little bit too hard. Like, I mean, I was fasting, but I would eat 1 meal a day. Sometimes that meal wasn't enough calories. So I was like, oh, I'm feeling kind of tired. I need to eat more. So I'd eat more and I'd shut my fast down. Instead of being like 20 hours or whatever, it would be 14 hours. And then I'd allow myself to eat. But the thing is, initially, fasting didn't feel right because I was used to eating breakfast and a snack and a meal. And I was used to eating all day long. But after doing it for a bit and getting used to the feeling of being kind of hungry, right? I then understood that, I don't need to eat all day long. Like I can still have some really good, enjoyable meals at the end of my day, but eating doesn't have to be something I do all the time whenever my body is like, eat. And some people hear that and they're like, that's an eating disorder. Like, no. It's not normal to respond to hunger all the time your body says I'm hungry. And people hear that and they're like, but you should eat whenever your body says you're hungry. Nah, no. Because if I ate every time my body said I'm hungry, I'd be really overweight. But I'm used. I know when I'm truly hungry, and I know when I just want some Doritos.
Yeah.
There's a difference between wanting some processed foods that are made for you to overeat and continue to consume, versus being hungry for a nutritious meal that's filled with micronutrients, that's filled with things that actually fill you up and make you feel full. That's a different level or different feeling of hunger. So that's why this fasting thing that we're doing is different, because too many people are saying, oh, it's an eating disorder, blah. You hear that a lot. No. What we do these days in terms of eating all day long, that shit ain't normal. It's really not. And I'm not trying to tell everybody to fast. I'm not trying to say that. But I'm saying that you should look at all the times you eat and think to yourself, do I truly need to eat right now? Or am I just eating because I want to taste something? Like, look at the utility, because I still enjoy food massively. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy everything I eat, but I just understand that I don't need to eat all day long.
There's a lot of different ways you can like navigate some of that too. Like, if you did want to address your hunger most of the time when you're hungry, because you find it to be annoying and distracting, you could just work on doing so with a little bit better food. There's a book called Eat This, Not That. It's an old book, but it's just like swapping out some calories. You could even simplify it if you don't feel like reading that book, and you can just say, I'm going to reach for something that has a good amount of fiber, or I'm going to reach for something that has a good amount of protein. You could pick either one. You pick a piece of fruit. If you eat an apple every time you're hungry, I cannot imagine that you would be overweight. You know what I mean? There's all kinds of different diets and regimens. I believe that is like a method that people use to help curb their hunger. There used to be this kind of idea, and you still hear parents say it, hey, I don't want you to spoil your dinner. If you eat before you eat. But I think that we should utilize that as an advantage, and we should spoil our dinner. But we need to have something that is still healthy for us. So if you can bring down the overall amount of calories and just your mind, like you're so ravenously hungry sometimes, even though you can probably reinterpret that over a period of time, that you just want to eat and eat and eat. But imagine if you had an apple, or even an apple and a cheese stick or something like that, which is a kind of normal snack for my kids a lot of times. If they eat that and then an hour later they eat, they're most likely going to eat a little bit less dinner. They're most likely going to eat a little less dessert. Not that the goal is to always eat less, because that can be problematic in and of itself.
Yeah.
But for the most part, we have a problem of excessive overeating, and people have an issue with not only just losing weight, but keeping it off and having some long-term adherence to it. So something like having a protein shake 2 hours before you eat could be something that pulls you back, reins you back in. Let's say that you know for sure that you're going out with a significant other, and you want to just, you're going to a place that's got great food. You could have something small before you leave the house, because once you get in that restaurant setting and you're sitting there and you're kind of getting antsy, and it takes like a night out, it seems like it takes forever sometimes, especially if you're hungry.
Yeah.
It can make you antsy, a little irritable, and then you're like just kind of waiting. And it can also help you control some of the decisions that you make if you just have some protein, maybe an hour or two before you eat.
Yeah, the hardest part about eating the apple is knowing how much peanut butter you're going to have with it, because that's the only way I'm going to.
It's bomb.
It's so good. I wanted to rewind just a little bit. Nsima, you had said when you first started jiu-jitsu that you did a little bit too much and you had to pull back. How did you not feel defeated when you pulled back?
Because it's new. Like the big thing is, like, when anything is new, you can't do it as like somebody that rolls 13 times a week. And I said that right. There's some people I know that do 2-a-days multiple times a week. They built up to that. You build up to doing anything at a high capacity, so you can't expect to start off at a high capacity. Like when I first started off jiu-jitsu, I started with like 2 times a week, and there was a time where I was like, I want to progress faster. I'm going to try to go 4 or 5 times a week. And I did that for like 5 weeks, and I was fucked up. Like, so I was like, let me just try 2 or 3. Like, let me just do 2 or 3. Cause I was realized like, okay, my body's not used to this. My joints aren't used to this. I can't sustain this. But just because I couldn't sustain it didn't mean that I had to stop doing it altogether. And that's the interesting thing, because that's the way that people look at changing their habits for exercise, or trying to do transform their body, or starting something as far as nutrition. They go a little bit too hard. They're like, I can't sustain this. And then they say it's because that didn't work. That would be the equivalent of me saying, this jiu-jitsu shit just doesn't work. I couldn't do it 5 times a week consistently. My body was getting grizzled and beat up. This jiu-jitsu stuff is bullshit. No, it's just I wasn't ready to do it that often. And that's the same thing when it comes to any type of nutrition protocol or any type of exercise protocol. When you find yourself going a little bit too hard, or you find you're not able to sustain something, instead of saying this doesn't work, ask yourself, how can I reel this back to something that I can sustain right now? Because once you're able to learn how to sustain it right now, you can then build off of that. It's the exact opposite of the all-in mentality. Because when you're all in, you go all in, but then you can't sustain it, and then you quit, because if you're not all in, you're fucking out. So instead of being all in and out, go all in if you want to, but then understand that when it doesn't work, adjust. Please just adjust. Don't quit, adjust.
Yeah, we had started the podcast talking about finish lines and being like, well, there really isn't a finish line. Like, there's never going to be a time where any of us are not exercising or not, paying some attention to our diet. Like, you said, like, we don't think about it all day long, but I do think about like the food. I'm like, if I'm going somewhere tomorrow, then I know for sure today I'm going to, I'm not going to indulge in whatever it is. But with that in mind, bodybuilders will obviously, because they have a show on a certain date, so they do have somewhat of a finish line, and you see like the donuts going around backstage and people are celebrating because they're like, oh, finally I can be done. For the average person that's not going to step up on stage, do you guys think it is a good idea to set like a time frame on something, to set a goal for a certain, whether it be weight loss or like a vacation, that sort of thing? Or not, I guess vacation is not the best thing, but let's say, I don't know, we're going to the beach on that weekend. I want to be in a little bit better shape than where I am right now. I have, 12 weeks to get there. Do you guys think that that's an okay practice?
I think the first thing would be like, if someone needs to lose quite a bit of weight, I would say, why bother putting a time frame on it? Like, you weigh 300 pounds, 400 pounds, you're aware. You lived in that body for a long time. My boy Russell, who last week shared with us, maybe 2 weeks ago, shared with us that he lost a 45-pound plate. So he lost 45 pounds of weight. And that's been in the course of like 18 months. Like, that's a long time, in accordance to these other, blazing weight loss things that you hear from other people. But Russell also more recently told me that he lost 50 pounds. And that was as of just a couple days ago. So he lost 50 pounds in the course of like 18 months. He's going to continue to trickle that weight down slowly but surely over time. But like, what's the hurry? Like, okay, maybe he's not going to gain any more health by losing the weight a whole lot faster. In fact, it could be potentially more disastrous in some ways, right? We want him to be able to lose weight and then sustain it. And when he loses that weight, he'll be in a healthy new body. And it's been my kind of prediction the whole time. I'm like, once I can assist him to get to 60 pounds, his whole world is going to be on fire. And he's going to want to tell himself to move more and more. And he's already kind of in that zone. But I'm so excited because we've been talking about this next 10 pounds for a while. And so he's going to kind of hit his stride. The only time I would say like the time domains are cool is like, I would just change your perspective a bit on why you're losing weight. Like, don't necessarily just try to get in shape for that outing that you're going to go on a boat or something like that. Try to view it like, hey, when I go and do that, I know that I might drink. I know that I might eat a little bit of weird food. I know that I'm going into a situation that I'm not exactly sure where my food's going to come from. I don't want to be like, trying to pull out my Tupperware and all these different things during that time. You could still use some of your strategies that you normally use, But rather than like thinking about it as you're trying to get all crazy shape for that, you're just trying to prep for the fact that you might want to have a little bit longer leash that weekend. You might want to just kind of do what other people are doing just out of pure convenience, just out of the fact that it may enhance some of the situation. So those are some of the where I would go with some of that. I don't really think the time domains are, I don't think they're insanely important, but I will mention this, you know, if you never read Atomic Habits thing, make sure you check it out, because there are things that if you write them down, the more specific you get, the easier it is. It's hard to hit a target that you don't even have. It's hard to see a target that you don't have. So it may be beneficial for some people, but what I don't like about it is with weight loss is what happens when you don't. You know that you didn't. And even if you don't look at that notebook where you wrote it down again, you know that you didn't. And it's like, makes you feel like a real sucker. So I think like writing down, I would like to lose this amount of weight, and then by whenever I want to lose 30 pounds. And if it takes until 2026, I'm cool with it, because I want to be a healthier person.
I heard something from a trainer when I was 21 or 22. I don't know if I heard it on a podcast or someone told me this, but you know, they said it's kind of ridiculous people setting these time goals, because if it took you 20 years to gain this weight and you now have maintained this weight for so many years, what makes you think that in 12 weeks or in a month or even in a year, what makes you think that you can lose X amount of pounds? Why? Why do you think that? I'm not saying you shouldn't have the goal, but it took not only for you to have time to gain this weight, but it took you having all of these habits that may not be ideal for your health. You have these habits ingrained that got you here right now. So you can crash diet for a few weeks and maybe you could lose 20 pounds. But this is why people say 95% of diets fail, because you crash dieted and you did unsustainable things to lose that weight, but your same bad habits are there. And those same bad habits are going to be there when you're stressed out, when you have a hard day at work, when something doesn't go right with somebody, you're going to turn back to those bad habits, and then you'll gain the weight back and probably more because you crash dieted. So like what you said, Mark, I don't think it's the greatest idea before you have good habits to set a goal in terms of, I want to lose this amount of pounds in 12 weeks or 6 months. I don't think it's a great idea to set that weight goal for that amount of time. I think a better goal to set is, you guys see all the things that we're talking about here in terms of sleep, in terms of liquid calories, in terms of movement, not just exercise, but movement. This is something I would tell somebody to do. Okay, if you don't get good sleep, let's have a goal for 2 or 3 months from now. Consistent sleep each night, at least 6 hours. Try to do that 5 or 6 times a week. In 2 or 3 months, you're going to be someone that gets 6 hours minimum of sleep, hopefully more, but let's start with minimum 6 if you're not getting enough. In 2 months, you're going to be someone who does that pretty much every single night. Because when you're someone who does that every night versus being off and on, getting no sleep on certain nights, if you're able to build that habit, other choices are going to be easier. If you're someone who doesn't drink liquid calories anymore, and you used to drink soda every day, but you know that you want to get to your end goal and those liquid calories can't be a part of the habits needed to get to that end goal, I'm going to set a goal for 3 months from now. I'm not going to have any more liquid calories. Or 6 days out of the week, I won't have any liquid calories. And on day 7, maybe I'll have something. But like you won't, like, just something as far as not drinking soda anymore. Right? Set habit goals and give yourself a certain amount of time to build and sustain these habits. Because when you build and sustain specific keystone habits, if you can maintain those habits, that weight goal is going to come in the future. Like, it's going to be there. It's going to come. Because the reason why people are able to set goals for timelines, like I'm 20 weeks out from a show and they can get from point A to point B, is because these people already have the habits needed to get from point A to point B. And now, because it's so structured, it's like, this is just what I got to do to get here in 20 weeks. And if I actually want to get here in 16 weeks, this is what I do. But they're not adding anything new into the mix. They're not adding any new habits, any new exercises, anything new. They're doing the shit that they already know what to do. And because they know how to do it, they can now set a timeline for it. If you're coming new into this, you probably shouldn't set a timeline for it, because you're going to set yourself up for failure. And you're going to be one of those people who says 95% of diets fail.
So maybe set a time frame. Maybe set a time frame for your habits and not necessarily your goal.
And set a time frame for habits and not the goal, because the person,
and maybe be reasonable with it too. Like let's say you're going to say all of May, I would like to do the 4 following things. They could all be new, right? And so you can say, hey, I would love to do out of the 31 days or however many days are in May, I want to do 20, I want to do, like
at least 20 days where I get good sleep.
Yeah.
If you're someone who doesn't get good sleep every day.
And when you feel that, and even if you don't get 20, you don't have to feel bad. But when you feel that and you did that 20 times, you'll probably actually get a really good response from it. And you'll be like, I'm all in on that. Like, I want to feel that more. And you'll probably just eventually want to do that more anyway.
Yeah, because you know how good it feels to do that. You know how good it feels to wake up multiple nights in a row, wake up in the morning and feel energized because you didn't drink caffeine right before bed and because you got a good night's sleep. And now that I know what that's like, I know that if I don't get good sleep, I know how shitty I'm going to feel in the morning, and I'm not going to make that sacrifice of getting bad sleep. So it's just like... That's why the main thing we talk about all the time is habits, and we try to give habits, because if you can build one habit in a certain period of time and then on top of that build another habit, like I said, the weight's just gonna that weight's gonna come off at some point. But if you don't have the habits and you aim for the weight and you're just like, I'm just gonna do this and do this, but you still don't have good habits, you're fucked, because you don't have the habits needed to be able to even maintain that fat loss.
I don't want to say like people are failing, but it does mess with my head when I hear that 95% of all diets fail.
Oh, absolutely.
Because if you follow the diet, it's not going to fail. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
the diet's probably a habit, right? For the people that for the people that eat like us, no, the diet's not like it's a habit for us to eat this way.
Yeah. So like, and again, I don't want to say like anybody's a failure, but it's like, the diet didn't fail you. You didn't follow through on the diet. Yeah. It's just tough because I hate telling somebody that, like all diets work, period. And then it's like, oh, but you didn't follow it.
But that's the problem with the messaging when it comes to fitness industry
and
stuff.
There is no off diet. You don't get to be off, like you don't get to be off plan, like you just don't. And nobody gets a free lunch. No one gets a free pass. You got to fucking be on plan. You got to be on point.
But plan becomes life. Like this is like,
yes,
like I ate pizza the other day. I didn't feel like shit. You know what I mean? And that was on plan because I didn't eat during the day. So I ate pizza.
You cheated on your diet.
There's no. That's the thing. Like.
Well, even if you wanted to, let's just talk about like cheating on a diet, right?
Yeah.
Cheating on a diet would be that you overconsumed energy for, like, in my opinion, it wouldn't even be for a day, because a day I don't think is fair. Like if you're following a protocol and you're someone that exercises regularly, there are scenarios where I guess you could go all day and really eat a lot and be over your overall calories for the week. But if we're going to talk about like cheating on a diet, I would say the only way to really truly cheat on a diet, I don't want people to get the wrong idea and have like a cheat meal every day either. But I think the only real way to cheat on a diet, if you have a clean or a healthy perspective of it, is to have multiple days where you overate a nice abundance of food to the point where it's going to be to your detriment, and it's going to probably end up resulting in you having more body fat if your plan was to lose weight.
Yeah, I would say for myself, the only time where I have a quote cheat meal is if whatever I ate just didn't have enough protein for me. When I was sick, I really like what's it called, minestrone soup from Spaghetti Factory.
Minestrone soup,
it's really good.
Fucking dope. It's so simple. It shouldn't be that good.
Yeah, but
it's fucking dope.
What is it? It's some kind of liquid, some noodles, and some vegetables.
It's tomato soup, basically.
It's delicious. That
basil.
That meal, I don't know if it's because I was sick, but I'm like, I'm going to eat bread. I'm going to also eat the chicken parm, and I'm going to eat the soup. Looking at that, the whole spectrum of the meal was definitely not enough protein for me. And I'm like, fuck it, I'm not feeling good right now. I'm just going to eat the fuck out of this. to me, that was kind of like a cheat meal. But like in the back of my head, I knew I was like, I didn't eat enough protein. Like that's not enough. But so that's kind of like, I wouldn't say like I look at every meal like that, but I'm always conscious of it to the point where I will say in my head, I got to make up for it like the next round, you know. But I don't know if that's like an unhealthy thing to look at it.
No,
like,
I think that's
not
great.
enough protein's a cheat meal, but it kind of is.
No, I think that's great. And Chris Minnis, when he was on the show, he talked about how dialed in his girlfriend is with certain protocols for her to, you know, she does
Fucking
really,
shows.
yeah, she does really well on her shows. And he was saying that like if she misses a meal, she considers that cheating. So she doesn't even like miss a meal. So that's an interesting twist on the whole thing. Yeah. I think you can, like, if you're not getting the nutrients that you need and you're not hitting the markers that you want, like for you, you don't want to lose muscle.
No, I can't afford it.
So you don't want to be like under your protein amount every day for, you know, 2 weeks or something like that. You want to try to get it more into a point where you think you can feel more comfortable about you're heading in the right direction.
One thing you mentioned real quick, this is pretty interesting. My girlfriend, she's very fit, but she will eat 5 or 6 meals a day. And sometimes like, do you want to get some? Do you want to? She's like, no, I'm good. I'll cook at home. Like she like that. But that's what she eats. She will eat breakfast. She'll have a healthy snack. She'll eat multiple times a day. But that's her. She doesn't feel super restricted or anything. Because when we got pizza the other day, she just got a pizza. Nice. Like it wasn't a big deal. But she's one of those people who likes to eat. You know,
that is a way of doing it. That is a way of doing things. I mean,
Yeah.
it's worked for bodybuilders for years and years, and
she despises fasting.
I've recommended certain meal plans for people before where they do eat more often, and they're like, man, I can't even get through my meals. But these are just protocols that you might want to try, like if you've struggled with it. And it's also the reason why we don't get enough people to come into fitness is because sometimes they might pick up that we're talking about fasting and they're like, that's not for me.
Yeah.
Peace out. And they bounce, and they don't realize that we do talk about some other stuff. There's a lot of different ways of doing this. And if you wake up first thing in the morning and you have a good amount of protein, and then 3-4 hours later, you have another good amount of protein, 3-4 hours later, you have another good, you're going to feel pretty full all day.
This woman eats meat like no other. Like what? Yeah. Like she eats like 190 grams of protein a day at around 145 pounds.
Yeah.
Right. That's a lot of protein.
Protein is like, it's almost, you know, I don't want to say it's like a free macronutrient, but it seems to be pretty damn close. I know Andrew did his own little, one, you know, experiment of one over there, but you can load up on protein and you're not going to see the scale head. You're not going to see the weight go up on the scale a lot.
No, I thought for sure.
Muscle mass.
I tried. I was like, Mark's full of shit. There's no way I could eat as much protein as I want. Like, no way. I put together, I want to say it was like 2.5 weeks straight of like 300 grams or more of protein per day. And I just got exhausted. It was like, it became really difficult to hit that mark. And no, dude, I didn't gain any weight. Like I probably got not shredded, but I probably lost fat and gained muscle from that.
Yeah.
Makes me want to do it again.
Not saying you have to eat that much protein, but just that's like when I look at the
It's a strategy.
It's a strategy. Like looking at her eat, and then when I look at other people who have high eating frequency, these people also have typically a good volume of protein in each one of their meals, which is and that's one of the things that, like, when you're making a meal or when a lot of people are cooking and dieting, a lot of times you have a lot of energy calories, maybe a lot of carbs and fat, and not enough protein in that. It's not going to be that satiating. And as far as building muscle over time and curbing appetite over time, you're not going to feel full very long, and you'll want to eat again. That's what we're trying to avoid. So whether you fast, whether you don't, you have good eating frequency. A big thing is protein.
And if you try to fast and you find out that you corner yourself into a position where you can't eat enough, well, that's not a good diet either. So you got to open up the playbook a little bit. You might have to eat 3 times a day. You know, that's a lot of times for me, I eat like 2 or 3 times a day. It's usually like meal. Like right when I get home, I'll have a meal, and then maybe just like a little bit of time goes by and I'll eat another meal, and then I'll usually have like a steak shake or something to end the night. Meal. Boom, and I'm done. And I fucking love that. Like, it's great because like I feel like, and I didn't do any of this, but I feel like I hunted for the day, and now I got my kill, and now I'm gonna eat it. I went out and I worked for the day, got my hands dirty, which I really didn't do that either because I'm a fucking pussy. I did some back-breaking work in my own mind, and then I go home and seek the rewards.
It would be fun, not for like a Smelly's Kitchen or maybe like a spin-off of it, but like filming like a full day of eating, which is like one meal for you. But then like trying the opposite for you guys to see what it's like to eat breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, dinner. Just that way you guys can compare and, I don't know, just get your thoughts on it. Because I would be interested in hearing or seeing, especially you, Mark. I know you have done that for years and stuff, but like lately you haven't been even bothering with it. If it like would, I don't know, help a workout or slow you down or whatever. It'd be fun just to see what you ate throughout the day.
Yeah, the issue is that if I eat, I'm like occupied and consumed by that.
Right.
So if I had any brains and I could eat like a small amount of food and then work out, about an hour later, like ideally, like I would eat something small, I would go for a walk and I'd come back in and I'd crush a great workout and I probably would feel better with a little bit of food. But it's like, man, I don't know. Once I open up that, you know what I mean? Once that crowbar gets in there and opens up that hunger, it's like, it's over.
The interesting thing is we've talked about this a lot. I mean, I will have days where I wake up and just like, you need to eat. Just have a breakfast. But then after I have that breakfast, I really don't eat much for the rest of the day until I get home again. Then I'll smash a big meal. I get hungry on those days too. It's like kind of annoying. I'm like, fuck, now I'm really hungry. But one aspect of like, luckily what we do is like, we're usually busy for quite a bit of our day. So we don't really think about food.
Yep.
Right? Like we're always doing something
Except for
during
Chinese
the day.
food.
Except for Chinese food, bro.
Fuck. Somebody send us some. How come no one sent us some fucking Chinese food?
I don't know.
Get us a gift card to some Chinese spot if you guys want to send that over to, what's the address?
Yep.
It's 855 Riverside Parkway, Suite 10.
Not
West
bad.
Sacramento, California.
Don't know the zip code.
Well, you guys can type that in. If you want to send us some gift cards for like PF Chang's or anything, you can do that.
95605.
Get close enough.
What Chinese spot do you like?
It's called Tea Garden in Elk Grove.
Yeah, go to their website and buy Andrew a digital gift card.
Insanely good.
We won't.
It's like too good. I did make. There's a like they're like, it's called bear chicken from Costco.
Bear?
Yeah, like like it's like it's nothing but chicken, but it's usually not. It's like breaded. It's fucking delicious. But I have that with rice and then Jihu sweet chili.
It's called bear chicken and it's breaded.
Yeah,
it's
amazing.
Dope.
The macros are pretty good. It's not fantastic.
That's some shit branding though. Like,
well, I think the thing is, it's like, oh no, it's like just chicken, like organic,
just fried chicken.
Yeah, it's really good.
Just chicken with canola oil and bread all over it.
Yep.
That's hilarious.
Dude, but air fried with sweet chili. So G Hughes is the man. So sweet chili, and then I'll put orange essential oil inside of the sweet chili, so it ends up tasting like orange chicken. Dude, it is that good.
Trader Joe's has this orange chicken that's just you just like microwave it or whatever, put it in the oven. It's good shit.
I think you can microwave this, but what's cool is like on the label it actually has like air frying instructions, which is smart because it's like
fitness. Let's go get some Chinese food, huh?
Dude,
oh yeah, I had Cold Stone last night. It was
spot
fucking
in
good.
Elk Grove was
that's
so
the
good.
best.
Cold Stone.
It's still around?
Yes. Go
I didn't even know. A bunch of them shut down.
What?
Yeah.
Mine's like walking distance from my house.
Oh, that's terrible.
I can walk to Cold Stone's like 10 minutes away.
It's
What'd
called.
you get?
There we go. So it's
a peanut butter dough something.
oh peanut butter.
Yeah,
I'm
but it was
down.
peanut butter dough ice cream with Reese's Pieces, Butterfingers, peanut butter sauce. And I gotta have
Peanut
it,
butter sauce. That's so
good. So good.
Peanut butter sauce.
Peanut butter is my favorite.
And this
How
is
the fuck do they make peanut butter sauce?
I don't know.
It's like
so good.
It's like a coconut oil and MCT oil.
God.
They just take the good stuff out. Maybe
dog.
I don't know, but it's
Added
called
some-
just bear chicken. So it says lightly breaded chicken breast chunks. It's delicious.
You trying to get a scholarship?
Yeah, that'd be nice. Holler
I'm gonna
at
buy
me.
that.
Get it at Costco. I always load up
Bear
because
chicken,
it's,
please put Andrew through school for us.
yeah.
Thank you very much.
Trying to get this motherfucking scholarship.
What movie is that from?
It's from Pineapple Express.
Oh,
Oh wow, it's been a minute.
I love that shit.
he's like dribbling like an exercise ball, right?
yeah.
Trying to get another scholarship.
What's that movie where Robert Downey Jr. did blackface?
I think that's it.
No,
Tropic Thunder.
Tropic Thunder.
Yeah.
No matter what anybody says, that shit was hilarious.
That's a great
What do
movie.
you mean, you people?
Just so people, like, I don't know, people don't understand that when Robert did that, that was ironic. Like, it was a joke about how blackface isn't a good thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't like it was. Guys, watch that movie. It's great.
What's the
It's a
movie
great
you
film.
always refer to? White Chicks, right?
I love White Chicks. Yeah,
that
that
movie's
shit's fucking great.
They did whiteface. That shit was awesome.
Yeah,
It was incredible, that
It was
movie.
great.
there's a version of it. I don't know if it's still on Netflix.
A version of it.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. They gave them like the discounted version where like they left shit in, it's like the director's cut or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Watching it with Jasmine, and I was like, oh shit, you can't be watching this. Like it gets
Ooh.
weird. Like they start playing with the dildo and stuff. It's fucking wild. But I was like, oops.
This actually is kind of interesting. I was in this. Well, I was in the sauna with Graham the other day, and we were talking to this woman. Her name was Ashley Betchley. She had this podcast called something, but Betch was in the title.
Son of a
Betch,
bitch.
please.
Yeah, I think it was called Betch, please, or something
I just
like
made
that.
that up.
It was something that was really punny
Betch,
off of her
please.
last name. But she said, because we ended up talking about like sex for some reason, and she said that when her mother had the sex talk with her when she was 14 years old, she came into the room with a dildo.
No.
And said, all I want for you in life is to have sexual pleasure and chocolate. Oh, Graham was like, oh, he has a chocolatey voice. And then I was like, why are you calling it chocolatey? But then we got into sex from chocolate. Anyway, that was part of the sex talk from her mother.
I thought when she said, I want you to have great sex and chocolate, that's when Graham was like, he has a chocolatey voice.
No, Graham said
Got
that
it.
before,
Okay. I was like,
which
Graham,
got us
you need
into
to chill. Okay.
That got us into. But apparently her mother, when she was 14, gave her a dildo.
That's fine.
And then had the sex talk. But
Talk about grooming.
A brand new dildo or hers?
Oh.
Yours.
She got a hand me down.
Sanitized. Just cleaned it thoroughly.
This one smells funny.
Yeah.
All right, but real talk.
And there we go.
What do you think about that sex talk? Like, it is interesting because I never had a sex talk, probably because I had a single mother. But at the same time, it's like,
Well, because you
kids
were
are
looking
gonna-
at porn before she could have that talk with you.
I
well,
think a dildo would like totally confuse things a bit. Depending on how old you are.
yeah, I don't have a daughter, but I'm just wondering, like, huh?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I'm gonna let my wife handle that one.
For sure.
But you know what? Yeah, how would you guys handle that?
I don't even really know how much of a conversation you need to have other than just say like, you need to like wear protection. You know?
Yeah,
Like, because I think as they get older, they kind of understand like what the fuck's going on, right?
Oddly enough.
especially today.
but well, especially today. But the amount of women that I've heard didn't even know what an orgasm felt like until they were much older.
Right.
That's an interesting. Yeah, like, I knew what that was at 11.
Well,
It's
yeah.
like,
Yeah, 'cause you're
that's
busted.
great. Let's do it again. You know what I mean? But it's not as easy for girls.
Yeah, no, that's
So-
different.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way I'm having that talk, but
Well, at least you got.
but the thing is though, like you're wearing her favorite show, like Friends.
Yeah.
She loves that show. They talk about sex all the time. They talk about like sleeping with each other and blah blah blah. So like she knows that like it, you know, like surface area, TV rated type shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's all you need to know for right now.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
How did we get here? Should we
I don't
stop?
know. It happens every
We
time.
should stop, but yeah.
Guys, tell us how you had the sex talk with your kids, because this might help out the audience. And if you want to get more of this conversation a little bit deeper, head to Discord, because Discord be popping. We got over 700 people in there now. So
That's why
y'all can go back and forth with how to teach your children about sex
I think my
and
kids
other things.
learned a lot just by walking in on us, you know?
the weird thing though,
They were like, what were you guys doing?
like, why did you open
We were having an argument.
why did you open the door and call us to come over here though? Like, well, it's time to have the talk.
I was like, they were like, what were you guys doing? I was like, you guys know, you know what we were doing, right? And they're like, kind of like looking at each other. And I was like, we were having sex. Like, that's, you know, that's what we do, you know? And they're like, what?
That's amazing. I thought you were joking. But
No, I'm
that's
100%
fucking
serious.
awesome.
Yeah. No,
That
I mean,
makes sense.
But I've talked with at that point I talked with Jake already about it, and I'm sure he told his sister or stuff. You know what I mean? Like Hamish was just telling me the other day, he's like, Jake's told me all the bad words that I know. I was like, not my son Jake. I was like, there's no way.
My sweet boy.
Yeah.
How dare you accuse him of that?
Yeah, I'm like, you're lying.
That does remind me, now that I think about it. We were probably a little bit louder than we should have been, but this was after we had my son, so like it had been a long time. But my wife told me the next day that our daughter was like, I'm going to be paying attention to your stomach from now on, because she heard us. And so she thought that we were going to have another kid, because we had been talking about that. So she heard us having sex and was thinking that we got pregnant again. And I was like, uh-oh. And then she's like, and then I went into her room and like, I can totally hear you snoring. She could 100% hear us. I'm like, oops. My bad.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very, like, when I hear this stuff from you guys, it is very interesting, because my childhood was very different, obviously. Single mom. I never had any of those run-ins.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I remember hearing, my parents, but
yeah,
it was like, oh, gross.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
But
never had the talk.
Your parents were just making mad love in their room. There's nothing wrong
But when
with that.
you're like 12, 13, you're
I'm
just
trying
like,
to get you to think
everything's
about it.
No, I'm good. No, that doesn't like gross me out. It just was like weird in the moment. Like, oh, I know what they're doing and it's happening right now. Like, oh, it is my dad's birthday or whatever, you know?
Oh, man.
This fucking show.
We always end up here.
Yeah.
Take us on out of here, Andrew.
All right. If you guys are still watching, please make sure you guys hit that like button. We sincerely appreciate it. And drop us a comment down below. Let us know when you guys had the talk. I never had that talk, as you can tell. And please follow the podcast at MB Power Project on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. Make sure you guys are subscribed here on YouTube and turn on those bell notifications so you don't miss another upload. My Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter is at I am Andrew Z. And Nsima, where you at?
Check out Discord.
Oh, yeah, the Discord.
And Reddit. It's in the bio. And Nsima Inyang on Instagram and YouTube. And Nsima Inyang on TikTok and Twitter. Mark.
Just want to say, perfect is the enemy of the good.
Oof.
Like that's, you're trying to be perfect with this stuff. I don't think there's any extra added benefit to it unless you're a professional, unless you're somebody that already instilled those habits, as Nsima was pointing out. So you're just trying to get started in fitness. Just try in whatever way that you possibly can. It can be as simple as starting to put one foot in front of the other. See if you can implement something into your daily habits that becomes something that you can kind of hold on to for a long time. I really liked what Nsima said about setting a time frame or time domain on how long you're going to hold on to a habit, because once you do that, maybe the focus is there rather than the focus being on the goal. But if you have 4 or 5 things that are cascading disciplines that come down from a particular goal, and you can hold on to those things, what's it going to look like at the end of 30 days, 60 days, 90 days? You're probably going to be feeling a lot better. You're probably going to be heading in the right direction. Probably going to feel pretty goddamn good about the decisions that you're making. Mm-hmm. Strength is never weakness. Weakness never strength. I'm at Mark Smelly Bell. Catch you guys later.